Judge vacates convictions of 3 Philadelphia area men imprisoned for decades. After this.
What is up, everyone? Philly True Crimes back at you. And y'all, look at this. Judge vacates convictions of 3 Philadelphia area men imprisoned for decades. 3 Philadelphia area men, each of whom spent decades in prison, had their convictions vacated in court last Thursday due to recent evidence that their DNA had been absent from the scene of the murder of an elderly woman more than 25 years ago. Sam Grasty, Derrick Chappell, and Morton has consistently claimed their innocence in the 1997 murder of Henrietta Nickens, a 70-year-old woman who was beaten to death and sexually assaulted in her Delaware County, Pennsylvania apartment, according to Paul Castellero, Gasty's attorney and legal director of the nonprofit Centurion, which worked in his behalf. The men were sentenced to life in prison and have been incarcerated for approximately 25 years, according to attorneys. The state didn't answer any evidence in opposition to our DNA evidence, and our crime scene reconstruction expert told ABC News. Up until today, that hasn't been the course that they have taken. They oppose this evidence of their innocence in every way. The defendants were convicted of murder, burglary, and engaged in criminal conspiracy, among other crimes, according to court documents. Common Pleas Judge Mary Alice Brennan has set a bail hearing for May 23rd after vacating the man's convictions, according to court dockets. Delaware County District Attorney Jack Stolzheimer can ask for retrial, appeal the judge's decision to vacate or dismiss the case, according to attorneys. The district attorney office did not immediately return ABC's News request for comment. This case should have never gone to trial, Vanessa Popkin, Johnson's attorney and director of special litigation at the Innocent Project, told ABC News in a statement. As soon as the initial testing was done, law enforcement should have recognized that they focused on the wrong individuals because they refused to do so. They sent 3 innocent kids to prison, where they were locked away for decades, while the person who committed this crime walked free. Chappell was 15 years old when he was arrested. Johnson was 18 and Grasty was 21. According to her lawyers, all men now in their 40s. Nickens, the 70-year-old victim who was attacked and killed in her home on October 10th, 1997, was found by her daughter the next day, according to Castellero. Chester, Pennsylvania police questioned another neighborhood teen about the murder. Popkin told ABC News 15-year-old Richard McElwee, who had a history of drug abuse, according to Popkin. Chester police, who had detained McElwee on drug charges, interrogated him for hours until he eventually gave them a confession, according to Popkin. McElwee testified that he was on the lookout while the 3 co-defendants entered the apartment to rob Nickens. According to Castellero, prosecutors originally said that defendants sexually assaulted Nickens, but none of their DNA matched the semen found at the crime scene, nor was the 4 defendants' DNA found anywhere on the scene. Prosecutors alleged a green jacket that was found at the crime scene belonged to Grasty without testing it for DNA, according to Castellero. Years later, the jacket was tested for DNA and did not match the DNA of any of the defendants, but it did match the semen in the victim's body, according to Castellero. McElwee was given 6 to 12 year sentence with a plea deal, while Grasty, Chappell, and Johnson were given life sentences. Neither Nickens' family, the Chester Police Department, or McElwee immediately responded to ABC News requests for a statement. Without a DNA match, prosecutors developed theories on where the semen at the crime scene came from. It is just contrary to what the justice system is all about. Prosecutors are supposed to do justice and not just supposed to get convictions. They want to convict the right people. Wow. This is something to behold. It's such a shame. These children went to jail for a crime that they really wasn't even proved to do. That is absurd. In my mind, I'm thinking this Richard McElwee guy had more to do with this. Funny how they got him to confess to a complete, utter lie. So he confessed to something that didn't even happen. He confessed to standing guard. Why would he confess to standing guard for a crime if he knew that he had nothing to do with this crime? Okay? So in his head, he probably said, wow, well, let me just confess and then let them go down with it, and then at least I won't get in trouble for doing it. I just feel like he knows way more. He knows way more, and he got off. And these poor boys, 3 boys, went to jail gave them a whole year sentence. A whole life sentence. That is so sad. And the judge vacates that. Let's look at that. Let's look at what vacating means. So generally, to vacate a conviction means to nullify the verdict. Put otherwise, it appears as though the first trial and conviction never occurred. You will withdraw your plea and the prosecution will have the chance of trying your case again. This means you may have to undergo another round of criminal trial process. Note that vacating the conviction is different from dismissing a case. Vacating or setting aside is used when referring to nullify a specific judgment from the judge. In this case, a guilty or no contest judgment. On the other hand, dismissing applies to the entire case. It means that the case is thrown out for reasons other than factual merits. While a vacated judgment may result in a new trial for the same case, a dismissed case is concluded at the particular preliminary stage before a trial. In other words, dismissal occurs before sentencing. So, being that they're already sentenced, dismissal is when they're not sentenced yet. But being that this thing is being vacated, it means that they really still can be tried. Like this person down here, the one that messed up their name, this guy, Jack, District Attorney Jack, this guy, if he just says, oh, I don't like these, I'm mad, let me just take them back to trial. They literally can go back to trial. And they have no proof that these kids did this. Children, when they were children. They had no proof. All the DNA, there's no DNA, there's nothing. But these, instead of, I don't know how it really works where if this could be just thrown out. But no, they have to go through the whole case again, if need be. Instead of throwing this thing out, seeing that they had absolutely no proof, zero proof at all. The only proof that they really had was that neighbor kid. That's the only proof that they had. Let me just move stuff, because this is heartbreaking that these children had to spend their lives in jail, and this happens way, 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 way too much. This report here is not about crime per se, but this is a crime, what they did to these men. This is a true crime, a true crime, and it happens way too much. So I had to bring it to your attention. So guys, remember, as crazy as the world can be out there, keep your light shining bright, stay safe, and do the right thing. And please like and subscribe for the latest Philly crime news. We out.